want money. That's why Dominic Alafaci is here. He'll create it for you from Collins House, collinshouse.com. That's what it's all about. It's about your money being a machine, and you take it to you and you put it through another machine and it makes more of it.
Profound.
Is that it?
It's human capital. There's human capital and then there's physical, then there's other capital.
Right.
So your human capital is the thing that goes to work and does things and earns income.
Yeah.
And the capital that you build up is what we look after. Very good.
Yeah, thanks. How was it overnight in the markets?
Well, a bit off, but it's, the markets are still precarious, but if you're a clever investor, you're keeping a bit of cash on the side to buy in the dips. But overnight we saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average give back 279 points to 44,372, whilst the Nasdaq was 45 points lower, and the S&P 500 gave back 21 points to 6,260. Across the Atlantic, London's FTSE was 35 points lower to 8,941, with the French, German and Italian bourses also lower. Gold was another $38.30 higher to $3,368, whilst West Texas Minute was $3 higher at $68.45 a barrel. And the $8 was slightly weaker against the greenback because I think it's a bit too high at the moment.
Right.
And it's currently buying 65.78, with the ASX 200 SPY 13 points lower, pointing to a weak opening on Monday following yesterday's effort where our market fell 9 points to close the week at 8,580.
Now, the topic I want to bring up is the $600,000 incentive to downsize. What's this all about?
Okay, many people have worked hard. They've got a nest egg, but it isn't enough, and their major asset is usually their home.
Right.
So the government several years ago introduced this downsizer contribution top-up, which doesn't affect any of your other superannuation balances, to be honest with you. So you can sell your home if you've lived in it for 10 years and you're over 55, and each of the members of the couple can put in up to $300,000 each. You don't have to buy another house. You can buy a caravan or just go on your motorbike around the country, or do whatever you want to do. But there's a great song, if our man can find it, Pump It Up.
Ah.
You remember that Elvis Costello song,
yes.
My favourite song of all time.
Really?
And you can pump up your super, because to put 600,000 in your super in your 50s or 60s or even 70s is fantastic, because what it does is it enhances your ability to spend now rather than when you're 85, because you'll have a smaller house. Or no house, a caravan. But most people go from a $1 million house to a $700,000 apartment or something like that. A lot of people do that. And speaking of apartments, this is the hardest thing to do, is to find a good apartment to move into, or a smaller house, or a smaller farm, or a smaller whatever you're used to.
Small or something.
Yes. And there's a lovely apartment that's for sale just opposite the MCG, and I just referred one of my good friends to it. I hope you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It might be involved directly opposite the MCG. You're not talking 166 Wellington Parade.
I am. There's a great little property.
Proper 205.
Yeah.
It's a steal at the moment.
I reckon. I still can't believe in Melbourne, for under $700,000, you can buy a really nice apartment in a really good building. It's well made. Yeah. With a car park.
Yeah. Two bedrooms.
Opposite the MCG.
Opposite the MCG. Next to the Fitzroy Gardens. Yeah. Tram and train out the front, Jollymont Railway Station.
I just can't believe it. Like any other city in the world, major city, that would be $1 million.
Yeah, but how much would a little apartment opposite Central Park in New York be? And this is a world-class city.
I would say 1.4.
Yeah.
You can get them a bit cheaper, maybe if they're run down. But this is a well-maintained, quite elegant apartment. It's not a Toorak apartment, but it's certainly very, very well pointed. So the other thing is, and the top tip out of today's session is, don't forget to put in a downsizer contribution form, which is called an NAT. 75073, in case you're interested, to your super fund when you make the contribution of up to $300,000 each. That's to ensure it doesn't get confused in the tax system. So it's a tax-free contribution in.
Right.
And if you ever need the money, you can take it out.
Gotcha.
Tax-free.
Yeah.
And whilst it's sitting in there, up to $2 million you can have in your super fund each person, you can earn tax-free income.
Nice.
And capital gains. So don't think it's easy. Finding a house to move into is difficult, or a new home, but it really makes sense to bring forward the asset, the capital that you have, so you can spend a bit more of it now whilst you're young and healthy, and have perhaps less of a property to live in when you're perhaps 85.
Yeah. Eddie has called through the number 133693. All of the lines are free. Eddie, you've taken up one line. Good morning to you.
Good morning, gents. How are we?
Good, Eddie.
How can we help?
That's good. Hey, like we've got a house that's probably worth about $1 million, but we want to sell and downsize. But the trouble is, when you go to buy a smaller house, you've got to pay that stamp duty, which is,
It is a pain. It's a pain in the neck, Eddie, and I totally agree. The only thing I'd say is that the stamp duty, if you buy off the plan, sometimes you can save it, but the problem is sometimes, depending on the price of the property off the plan, it may be a higher price than it's really worth for the convenience of buying something that's new and not having to pay the stamp duty or getting a reduction. So be careful if you do try and save the stamp duty by buying off the plan, because on average it takes, I am told by property experts, 7 to 10 years before you get your money back, because it's inflated in the price that you pay. So, but I do agree, selling a house and buying a new one, there are lots of costs to consider.
It could make it people who are doing that, who are older, who want to go look at retiring, they took it away or even made it half. It would be more of an incentive for those people in big houses. Like, I've got a 4-bedroom house and a rumpus room and a TV room and an office. So I've got a huge house for two of us, and
Eddie,
I'd like to downsize.
Yeah.
You're talking common sense. Unfortunately, Canberra doesn't think like you.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Eddie. To Stella, good morning.
Good morning. Dominic, I was wondering if there is such thing as an index gold fund.
I buy quite a lot of gold in our diversified portfolios through a couple of funds. One's called GDX, which it actually buys gold miners and a few silver miners. It's one of the biggest funds in the world by Van Eck. Check out the code, but do your research before you put too much money there, because the price is really high at the moment. There's a couple of other ones. One I also like is Perth Mint Gold, which is, I think, just called Gold, actually, GOLD, I think's the ticker code. That's physical gold. So they are like index. They're not really index funds, but they are specific funds that target physical gold and gold miners. I'd have a combination of those two in a balanced portfolio, but make sure you do your research first.
Thanks, Stella. To Richard, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
G'day,
Hello, Richard. How can we help?
I've got a commercial property in a family trust, and if I sell that with a capital gain, etc., can I divert any of the proceeds of that into the self-managed super fund?
Richard, there might be something you can do, which is even better than that. You could get some advice on this, transfer the property to your self-managed super fund.
Yeah.
There's a possibility you can do that. There'll be a gain in the family trust, but it may be able to be managed reasonably well. And then in the super fund, when you sell it down the track, if you've done your planning correctly, there may be no further capital gains tax. So you could look at it that way, or you could do the first thing that you said, which is just sell it, pay the capital gains tax. You'd need to get the money distributed to a person, in a human being who can make a concessional contribution to super or a non-concessional contribution to super, as long as they're under 75.
All right, a few options there, Richard. And a quick one from Mark. Good morning to you.
Morning, gentlemen. Just had a quick question regarding binding nominations. I've had a super since the 80s, and it's changed. The companies for my fund has changed hands a couple of times, and the current people don't want to accept my binding nomination.
Well, who have you nominated, Mark? Who have you nominated? A dependent?
2 kids, yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. Write to the trustees and tell them to pull their head in, because you should be able to make a binding death benefit nomination from your superannuation fund, unless it's a peculiar fund that has got a specific nominated beneficiary in it, in the trust deed. But 99% of the time, it's your prerogative to nominate to the trustees who you'd want to have Pump It Up's coming on. I've lost my brain now.
Is this one of your favourite songs?
Elvis Costello. Sorry, Mark, but the answer is you should be able to get it done. If not, leave your details off air and I'll give them a kick up the pants for you, in the pants for you.
Yeah, good stuff. Good on you, Mark. Dominic Alafaci, collinshouse.com. You enjoy the weekend. Thanks
You
for coming in,
My
Dominic.
pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of the day as we approach 10 o'clock here on 3AW.